Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a while. Now, hopefully, this recording doesn't, the OBS doesn't start cutting me off. Something that does on my mic, I don't know why. But, anyways, I'm returning just to do a Let's Play of the translation I've been working on for a few years. I actually took a break for a while, not sure if I was ever going to come back to it, but I did. Now, I don't know how long this is gonna. I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore at this point. So I guess we'll just get into it. This is just the manual. It has a backstory. This will go into quite a bit of history and also some future predictions, I guess. So yeah, we'll read that and then we'll get into the gameplay. This is of course XZR, which I've done the second game already, and also the English version. In general, it's just historic fantasy. That's basically what it comes down to. It takes a lot of the lore and Western lore and makes it more real than not. But yeah, this one's a little bit more, how I would say, political commentary. That would be the best way to say it. So we'll dig right into it. So this is the manual itself, table of contents and all that good stuff. So we'll start here. Alright, this is the actual thingamajig, the text I have. So the backstory. Chapter 1, Jewish Wanderers. During the 13th century BC, Moses led the escape for people of Israel from Egypt to Palestine, where they would be united with their people. In a span of 500 years, the first temple of Islam were to be built in the southern kingdom of Judea to fall, changing the way of life for Israelis. During the 6th century BC, the Jewish people returned from Babylonia to Jerusalem after the construction of the Second Temple. The major powers Persia and Rome together invaded Babylonia, as the Jewish people once again fought to keep their freedom. The result was the Jewish diaspora, as the Jewish people were forced from their land forever exiled through history. So that's the first key into the theme of the game, I guess the title drop. And I do apologize if the translation's a little bit off. I do my best. I'm not fluent, but I'm getting there. So chapter 2, Judea and Islam's conflict. In the mid-20th century, across 2,000 years in the land of Palestine, once again the Judea people formed the nation Israel. The long historic wandering of the people came to a close from this point on. Within the long history, the Arabian people would also make Palestine their land, leading to a power struggle between the Judean people. The superpowers aided in reforming Israel shortly after First World War. What? After the First World War, that's confusing me. That makes more sense. The attempt to establish the Judean people's nation, the struggle was since the Middle Ages, only creating more oppression in the land. First to come from this was war. The second came strife among the people, continuing to the third crisis, uprising of radical extremists and their spreading of terror. Chapter 3, Islam heretics and 20th century world powers. America, one of the superpowers, offered support for Israel along with neighboring countries regarding the culture, government, economy, and military, in hopes to stabilize and gain favor in Arab countries. However, this measure, together with money in from oil and the wealthy class, only increased the gap between wealthy and the poor. As a result, this exacerbated the already existing discontent among the people. The people, now angry with the corrupt society, labeled America the Great Satan, blaming America for the invasion of the Western countries. They soon sought out for the Islamic fundamentalist extremists to fight against the opposition. The Islamic fundamentalists aimed to return Islam to the pure era. Back during the time of Prophet Muhammad, during the revolution, this fanaticism resulted in various groups of the Muslims Brotherhood, Al-Jihad, and Takfiri utilizing hostage-taking, assassinations, military control, hijacks, in order to spread terror. During February of 1979, the Iranians forced the Pahlavi dynasty into exile for their involvement with America and then established Walayat-e-Faqih, guardianship of the Islamic jurist. Yeah, I won't be able to pronounce these Arabian words very well. As supreme leadership of Iran. This marking the success of the Islamic Revolution. Iran's reward from the Islamic Revolution was a surge of fundamentalist activity in the Arabian countries. Panic spread between American and the ruling society as the flames of revolution spread across the Middle East. Soon after, millions within the Arab Federation would become followers of the Islamic teachings. Then Iran would seek diplomatic support from Soviet Russia. However, the Soviets wanted to refrain due to a desire to keep a natural stance. This decision would only induce more panic within Iran. 1979, December, Islamic nations would begin invading Afghanistan. Through guerrilla tactics, they would continuously barrage the Soviet forces within Afghanistan. Taking a swig of water. So at this point, it's just historic aspects. During 1980, the Arab Revolution, and this is an asterisk in the actual. I guess I should have been scrolling the actual page with it, but I didn't. So right here, 1980, they have an asterisk. During the 1980, the Arabic Revolution, Arab people had their own revolution, which much like the Islamic Revolution. The Persian majority of Iran followed an unorthodox Islamic religion that varied from the traditional Islamic religion. The Arab Revolution also advocated that the rulers were the dogs of the superpowers. For the fundamentalists, they opposed to the suppressed People's Revolution of Iran. So, during the 1980s, the Arab Revolution of Iraq made its way in Iran, complicating Iran's diplomatic relations. Soon after a border dispute, Iran declared war against Iraq, leading to an enduring struggle between both countries. The world powers would send air and naval military for the Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf, resulting in a third war crisis. And this is where it basically gets into more future predictions, because this game is made in 1987, I think, or 86. So it's going to be not quite true. In April of 1990, successfully fighting off any opposition, the Iranian populace and surrounding countries, fundamentalists, together strengthened power, leading to the unification of Iraq. Soon after, Lebanon, Bahrain, Kuwait followed the Islamic revolutions, thriving in powerful countries. The United Nations received demand from the Middle East to have the Soviets and America to withdraw. America, controlling the Persian Gulf, reluctantly accepted the Israel's conditions. However, Lebanon and Iran both wanted to repel the arrangement due to hidden conditions that they would give all control over. The situation in the Middle East further worsened due to this. Iran showed defiance against the two superpowers. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Oman, and Egypt became targets by the fundamentalist supporting Iran.